The familiar suffering of projecting into the future about a love relationship is so damn tempting because it's what you know.
Mm-hmm.
The requirement of controlling your urge to go into the future about a relationship requires such a degree of attention that it can feel exhausting, and you can be like, this can't possibly be right because I'm having to just
on it
all the time. Right?
Yeah.
And so the temptation, and this is the whole thing that we talked about last week a lot with Sue when we talked to her, the temptation is to say, because I have to be on this all the time, it can't possibly be right. Yeah. And that's when familiar suffering starts to go, what about me? Remember me? Remember how we did it before? Over here, hi, look at it. It's so easy to do me.
Fantasyland.
Fantasyland. And then you start to slip over there and you're hanging out over here in familiar suffering land, giving away the love you're in to a future that's irrelevant because it doesn't exist. Right. Because somehow we know we said it a lot and we're never going to stop saying it, so just get over it. When you guys climb a mountain and learn to play an instrument and sing a song and do anything you do other than your spiritual growth, you expect it to be hard and hard and hard. And yet when it comes to something like, I'm just going to stay on myself about how I'm going to think about this relationship, at some point we feel the tension and you go, can't possibly be right on the right path. But if you were climbing Mount Everest, using our favorite example, if you were climbing Mount Everest and the next step was harder, you would go, of course it is. I'm climbing the tallest mountain in the world. It's not supposed to get easier as I go along. It gets harder for everybody, right? The great thing is it's not climbing Mount Everest. Every single time you make the choice and you stay on top of it and you control that urge, you're actually getting the reward of reinvesting the love you're experiencing into the moment.
It actually is getting, if I let go of the idea that it needs to be anything but this moment, it's actually getting easier to bring myself back here.
That's because that's where the truth actually lives. If you project into the future, or if you remember the past, you lose all contact with reality. And when you're operating in a very conscious, high vibrational state, you lose all contact with yourself. It literally feels to us like you just float away. Energetically, y'all. This is a y'all moment, right? You just float away. And we'll be like, that's why we give you so much shit about saying but. We're like, oh, no. Please, God, don't say but. Don't go into because. Because it's like you just disappear right before our very eyes. Yeah. And then we have to go look for you guys. Where did she float? Wait, go pull her back. Could you come back over here? And then please just talk about right now, right? This is why we get on you about I statements. Because when you start in with the we this and we that, we're like, or better yet, you were like, not us. We don't do that, right? You float away. You're gone. And because the vibrational states are so dramatically different now, before you're all kind of fading in and out anyway. And then you get a little more conscious, you get sharper focus, and then you get a little less conscious and get a more, kind of fading in and out. But nowadays you guys show up, the guardians get you all ready, you land in the chair, and it's like 3D. And as soon as you guys start with the past, future, I, or we, you statements, you go. You may as well be not even there, energetically. So when we had to find you. This is why sometimes, we cuss and we yell and we scream and we act crazy. We want to get you back here. Where'd you go? Come back here. Back in the day, where the fuck are you people is basically what we were saying. And, enough people go, ooh, you said the F word to come back to the moment. Okay, cool, we got you here. Whatever it takes. We've told you that for years. So now what we see is you guys show up, you're extremely conscious, extremely present, extremely high vibrational. You've done it twice. You've said in the past. As soon as you said the words in the past, you were gone. Then when you came back to what that in the past meant about today, you came back. So both times we were like, should we stop her? We didn't know where to stop you. We waited for you, and you came back. But sometimes people start with in the past, And you might as well be outside. Literally. We don't know where you are. And if you don't come back, we have to go looking for you. Energetically. You can imagine. That's not exactly easy on you-know-who. Right?
I like the phrase, up until now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that keeps me here.
Exactly.
Up until now.
That's better than in the past, for sure. Yeah. And we would say even better is, I'm tempted to, because that's now. I'm tempted to do things I've done in the past. I'm instead wanting to talk about now. Right? That's where I am tempted to has a really powerful energetic component, because it's all about right now. Because you're in the moment talking about your temptation. That's that place where here's familiar suffering and here's that staying on top of it, controlling it. You're right here. I'm tempted to, and I'm going to stay the course. Stay the course. Stay the course. That's why the whole leave it more conscious and you found it. Where do you think that lands on the old hand, right? Right there on the tip. Because if you say, oh, but it's just so much more fun to bitch and gripe and bitch and gripe and bitch and gripe and be in familiar suffering over here, low vibration, unconscious.
Feels icky.
It's icky.
Feels icky.
Sometimes you're there before you realize it.
Yeah,
so you
I
got to
know.
come back. Course correct.
And I
course
feel
correct.
icky, so I'm like,